Hey everybody, welcome to Veliko Tarnovo, Bulgaria. We're back to visit with our attorney once again, Dimitar Dimitrov, and we're going to talk about residency. And if you're looking at Bulgaria as a possible place to come live, stick around for the next 30 minutes.
Welcome back with us today. We're in Veliko Tarnovo, Bulgaria with our attorney, Dimitar Dimitrov.
And Dimitar, we visited with last year, and we did a residency video with him, so you may have seen that. And we're doing a refresher, and we've also used Dimitar to set up our company in Bulgaria so that we can have a car as Americans and drive around the continent of Europe, which is something that's very esoteric. Most people don't know how to do this, and most attorneys out there in Bulgaria probably aren't aware of how to do this either. So stick around. We're going to talk about residency and some of the magic that Dimitar is able to work for you if you want to come to Europe and potentially live in Bulgaria and visit Europe.
Which is a beautiful country, by the way.
So Dimitar, I know most of our viewers may already know who you are if they've watched our previous video, but go ahead and reintroduce yourself to everybody, and let's talk about some of the programs you have here in Bulgaria.
So first of all, you are welcome again in my office, and you're actually kindly welcome here in Bulgaria. And I'm sure that you continue to like Bulgaria and to like our beautiful country, beautiful people,
Yes.
incredible climate, and all of this. So we continue with our residency in Bulgaria, and I should say that last year we had a very positive, very good experience with the people, and most of them, they are very happy to use our services, and we have many positive feedbacks, and we have many people what got their residence and their new life in Bulgaria and in the Europe actually, because if you come in Bulgaria and to become a member and to become a resident here, you become a resident of the European Union actually. To continue with the explanation with this program and with these options to use in Bulgaria, I should say that the options are almost the same, with some new improvements and with some new benefits. For example, you can use now option if you get a residency to come here in Bulgaria twice a year, not to live constantly here, and to keep your residency still. What is an amazing option, and you don't need to have it and to live here constantly and to keep your residency. What is amazing, I think, is good for foreigners, and they can go and live somewhere else, and then to get back here again and to use their residency in Bulgaria still.
And this is important because for those of you that are not in a Schengen country, the Schengen is a group of 26 countries throughout Europe, and while Bulgaria is a candidate to join the Schengen eventually, right now it's not part of the Schengen. So if you were to have to go and you want to go tour around Europe, you can spend 90 days in all of the Schengen countries, and that's like France, Spain, and Denmark, and Poland. So eventually you have to leave after 90 days from the whole group of countries, and you can come to Bulgaria currently and spend 90 days and then go back into the Schengen if that's your goal. So having a place outside the Schengen is a good deal, but I guess if you also have residency in a Schengen country, if they did go Schengen, then that would then flip over to allow you access to the Schengen at that point.
So we do expect to be added to the Schengen group, but still not. But I don't think that this is something negative and it's a disadvantage of our country, because you can come and stay here for 90 days too. But if you got your visit D and for Bulgaria for long staying here, and to get your residency, you will stay much more than 90 days. You'll be resident here, and you can use your ID card and your permission to live in Bulgaria. And if you don't fill all of these days, because it give you and says that you can live here more than 180 days in Bulgaria, but if you don't use even, you can be a resident also, and you will not lose your residency in Bulgaria. And with this residency card for Bulgaria, you can travel everywhere in the Schengen zone, even and everywhere in the European Union, because Bulgaria is a member of European Union.
Now, we have different audiences. We have the EU make up over 30% of our audience, and North Americans from the United States and Canada make up probably about 40%, and Great Britain is, or the UK is making up almost about 10%, and then the rest of the world is in there at about 10 or 15%. So we have a very large audience of people from all over the place. So some of these rules may or may not make sense to some people. If you're from an EU country, you're not worried about the Schengen. And
Definitely.
so that doesn't make a difference. And coming to Bulgaria is probably going to be a bit easier if you're coming from an EU country over to Bulgaria than if you're coming from North America or India. So it's different rules. So let's talk about the residency options that people have to come to Bulgaria and live full time, and if there's differences between somebody coming from the EU versus the US, Canada, or somewhere else. Go ahead and throw out those differences.
So honestly, we cannot say something different, but really the people from European Union, they have some benefit because they are part of this union, and they are actually using this free sharing and free transport of ideas, of people, of capitals, of everything. It's one union. And definitely people from EU, they have some benefit, some advantage about. But this doesn't mean that people from United States, from Canada, from India even, from Australia, South Africa, everywhere, all around the world, they can be part of this program and can be a part of living in Bulgaria. In opposite, they actually come here, and our experience from last year shows that they successfully integrate in the Bulgarian society, and they like to live here, and they like the climate, they like the country, low prices here, and everything else, and also option to live all around the union, and to travel everywhere, and to use these benefits. So let us speak a little bit about the options that people have, and they continue to be same with some slightly difference. But the most usable options that we found for the last year, this is to using people use their pensions to come here. So pensioners can come here, and this is the easiest way to get a residency in Bulgaria. And pensioners, if you have a retirement document, you are kindly welcomed. And if you feel some another requirements, for example, to have a medical insurance and to have this accommodation here, what should be purchased on property or rented one, you can come freely and live here and to be happy with your new life. So next option is to register what is on our second point, I should say, to register a trade representation office of foreign companies. And once people register this in the Bulgarian institutions, they come here and live freely also on this option. And I would say that this is a very good benefit if some families like to come here to live, because the trade representation office give an option up to 3 people to come and to reside here in Bulgaria.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, what is with the one reason, with the one background, you get 3 people here to come and live.
So what is the minimum amount if somebody were to open a company and want to come here as a representative of the company and live in Bulgaria? What does that company need to make as far as an income and to qualify for them to stay here in this country?
So actually we speak about for a foreign company what is active. We speak for an active company, what means that it gets turnovers and it works. It is not freezed, it is not dead company or some kind of phantom company. Mm-hmm. And the need, what the requirements, what have to be covered is just to have annual tax returns for the last 2 years. What means that it shows that the company is alive and it produces some things and services, and sent these people like representatives here in Bulgaria to represent the company's interest and to make some advertisement, to make shows, to make all of this presentation activity, and to offer the products and services of this company here in Bulgaria.
Okay.
Of course, we don't speak that all of this have to be very active or very, how to say,
Lucrative.
For a brand new company, somebody doesn't have a company now, but they're going to come here and they want to start a company with you or through your services, and they're starting a company, and like we have a company that we use that's a nil company right now. We use it so that we can have our car under the company, and we're officers of the company, so we could drive around the continent with our Bulgarian car. But if somebody wanted to come here and live with a company, is there a minimum amount of income for this new company for it to produce for them to be able to live here as residents?
So we speak about these new companies, what people, foreigners especially, they set up in Bulgaria, and they are needed to buy a property in Bulgaria, to buy a car, to register a car on their names, and many times to open a bank account in Bulgaria. Because opening of the bank account is a little bit difficult, how to say, exercise here. And when you have a Bulgarian company, you can open it very easily, much easily than this. So this Bulgarian company is needed at these purposes. Bulgarian company is set up to purchase a property, to get a property in Bulgaria, and to open a bank account, and to integrate in the Bulgarian society. For option, what is called trade representative office, we speak about for foreign company what sends some people here in Bulgaria to represent its interest, and this is the reason, the background, what the people use to come and to live here, to get visa D and to get ID cards and to get a residency here in Bulgaria. So we speak about a Bulgarian company, what is first, and we speak about a foreign company. If you decide to use a trade representative office like an option to live in Bulgaria, people need some foreign company. What is not needed to be there once, it should be someone else, just to decide to send people here and to represent its interest and its products.
Okay, so we've discussed the pension, the corporation, but I think something a lot of people will be interested in is the freelancer option here, which I guess if you can explain, it's somebody that's got a skill or they're doing some sort of consulting from this location, and how does that work as a freelancer to come here?
Yeah, this is a very usable option also for our customers, and freelance is one of the most used too. Because it's very comfortable, it's very convenient for people who are, for example, digital nomads, and for people who do their business online, and they do it themselves. So if once they can prove that they have education about this with a diploma or certificates and finished some courses about this, and also when they prove that they have for the last years enough contracts and experience in this area, they are not just a new one in the area, they can come and apply for on the basement of this option to freelancer. Freelancing is very usable for individuals and for people that work themselves, and for people that they hire themselves and they produce and they get incomes personally, and to do these online services.
Is there a monthly or yearly income requirement?
No, it is not. Just we've got last year some specific case that just for freelancer people need to have some basic Bulgarian skills, Bulgarian language. And it needs to be covered just B1, and we've had one client that said, "Oh, this is not for me." Even what is absolutely basic skills to show. And many times I would say that this exam, this check in the Bulgarian embassies, it passed formally. So I don't see that it is a very big barrier to stop freelancers to come and to get their residency in Bulgaria.
A little bit of work and they can make it work.
Of course. Yeah.
So for a pensioner, there's not a requirement for income. You can just show that you have a retirement from whatever country or whatever situation. So there's not an age bracket on there, but it's documentation to show that they are retired.
Yep.
And that will allow them residency. a freelancer doesn't need to show income. They just need to be able to show that they are not brand new at this.
They're
field.
educated.
And
They
that-
just have this education area. They are not just someone, occasion people from the street, for example.
Okay.
Nothing like this. Yeah.
So if somebody is teaching English as a second language and they got the TEFL certificate, that would work.
Yep.
What about a person that has a background, let's say like me? I'm an insurance person from the United States, and I can deal with people in the United States for their health insurance programs. And I also help people with their traveling insurance programs. As I mentioned we do I Am Global, so if you need travel insurance, I've got the link in the video description, or you can email me at warrenjulietravel@gmail.com, and I'll send you the information about I Am Global. And if you use our link, I'll get a commission, so I'll thank you for that. So if I were to use my background in insurance and show I have my insurance license certificate from the United States and I'm dealing with people on the insurance level, would a person dealing with insurance qualify as a freelancer?
So it should be, yeah. It should be also just you need to show that you have good contracts with people, you have some experience, and if you have some document that proves that you are actually insurance agent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you can qualify it, so you can be qualified like a freelancer absolutely without problems. Just the law requires to see here that you have this basic background that you can to have enough incomes to live here with from your activity. That you are not someone that just tries to do checks.
You're not
It's
going
a
to
check.
be living off of the Bulgarian system.
Yeah.
You're not.
So another options that I can offer also, you can register a trade representative office if someone of this insurance company sends you here and to represent its interest. You can be this also. And another option, what I would say also what is interesting and we haven't mentioned probably till now is that you can register NGO, non-government organization, for example foundation, and just to use this option to live here in Bulgaria. Non-government organizations, they are they are creations that follow not economical, not trade activities. They are just in the benefit of the society, and they help on society to improve some parts of its life, you know. So this is another option that you can use also.
Somewhat of like a volunteer then, someone who's
Yes.
going to volunteer to work with children,
Exactly.
volunteer to work with animals.
Animals, yeah, exactly.
So
you
you
can
start-
use this one also.
So you start your NGO and you can come here and have your activities to help. Is there documentation you need to submit annually to show what you're doing with your NGO?
So you need to have this special purposes that you follow, because NGO, you know that they are not orientated to the economical activity and to get the incomes to do a profit. They just spend the money. So you need to show purposes that you follow here in the country that are not connected with earning money, but just to spend something in benefit of the society.
Okay.
It's the only thing.
So if Julie and I wanted to open up a
Foundation,
kennel to
for
help
example.
dogs or something, and
Yes.
and have a place where
Yep.
we were taking care of
And
some
this
animals,
should be a background to get a
like or
residence
do
here.
an animal sanctuary to say, hey, we have a little piece of land and we are
Yep.
taking care of or having a place for sick animals to be, or to
Of
take
course.
care of animals that could be have an issue. So
It should be any type. For example, I have my non-NGO, my one. What is joined? What is have an orientation to improve the legal culture in the society, and to improve the legal knowledge, and to get people more informed about their rights and what is the options that they can use. I'll just give a sample about this.
Wonderful.
So any kind of public of social part of social activity you can use for purposes and for the goals that this NGO will follow and will improve in the society, and this is appreciated in Bulgaria, and you can use this to get a residency here.
Okay. And let me go ahead and say, as far as the cost of living in Bulgaria, it's much less expensive than the United States or
Yes.
UK or Canada, and a lot of the countries that many of you are coming from. But there are, it is going to be more expensive than some countries, though. If you're coming from India or Thailand, it's going to be quite more expensive. So it's all relative on where you're coming from. So from what I can see as an American, we can easily live here. If we were here living long-term renting, probably $1,200, $1,500 a month,
I would
pretty
concur.
easily.
Yes.
But what is the since we haven't really been able to establish that there's a minimum amount of required income for people to live here, what would be a threshold that you would say somebody, if they were applying, that if they were trying to show an income, that would get them approved without a problem?
So actually, the law puts some requirements as minimal. This is one minimum wage for the country. What now is 710 levs. This means around, I think, $450. Something like this is there. So I would say that to keep your standard, what you live in America or in Canada or some these good countries, how we say in Bulgaria, probably something like $700, $800, $900. It is absolutely enough to live here and to satisfy and to be well satisfied for all of your needs here. To pay your rent and to buy your food and to drive around and to get the benefits from the sites and the benefits of Bulgaria, because Bulgaria has a lot of mineral springs, a lot of sites that can be seen. It's a country with 1,300 years history, and you can find a lot of sites and of monuments, of castles, of everything that you want to see here. Another option to come in Bulgaria and to get a residency is if you are religion missionary, and you come here by invitation of some of the religions that are registered here in Bulgaria in direction of the religions. And if you have this option, you can come and to do your activity to get residency here, and we have also this experience too. So if you are, for example, a follower of these religions, Christianity, Muslim or Buddhism or Krishna, but all of this, they are registered in Bulgaria, you can be invited and to come here and to get your residency and to live here in Bulgaria also without problems.
I have a question regarding permanent residency.
Yeah.
If you go into a temporary residency, as we've been discussing, does that lead to a path of permanent residency in Bulgaria?
So you can continue your permanent residency, you can continue your residence what you get now every year. And when you reach 5 years residence here, you can get a constant one what will be 10 years. And after these 10 years, you can apply even for citizenship.
Okay.
If you decide, if you want to use, just Bulgarian law puts some requirement, if you decide to apply for citizenship, just to cancel your previous one, what I don't think is...
And does the government, in several countries that we know of, there are requirements for mandatory time in country for permanent residency. And we've discussed that now it's not necessary that you're here 183 days a year,
Yes,
but to go ahead and reach permanent residency, is there a requirement of so many months that you have spent or so many months?
For once you get this permanent residency, already you need to follow this. You need to mandatory live here to prove and to get this permanent residency for 10 years and more.
Okay.
So first, primarily for this, what you get now for this, we say long staying residency. You don't need to live constantly 180 days here, but when you put your goal for the permanent one, for this longer one, for 10 years and further, you need to establish your life here.
Okay.
Just to have your background here in Bulgaria.
Okay, I think that's how a lot of the countries are. It seems to be kind of a standard, especially on the EU side, or those wishing to become part of the EU.
Correct.
We're starting to see that lockstep come in.
Most of the time we're seeing you cannot be out of the country more than 10 months in a 5-year period.
Yeah. So that's kind of the
Something similar.
rule.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah. So if you go with temporary residency, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So from our previous videos, and we did do the one on the car, and so if you're interested about how you can have a car to travel around the continent, I'm going to put the link at the end of this video so that you can find that video and follow up on and take a look at that. But if you're looking for residency and you would like to make Bulgaria your home or as your home base, I would recommend that you go through Dimitar. And as it turns out, we probably have had about a dozen different viewers that have come through to Dimitar in the last year since we did the last video for various reasons. And so I think he's got a pretty good track record at this point of helping out our viewers. So I will tell you that we've looked at a lot of countries and we speak to different attorneys and experts in different locations. And Dimitar's has turned out to be a real wealth of help and knowledge for this country in Bulgaria. So I'm going to recommend you connect with him, and his information to contact him by email is right here. And down in the video description, I'll have the rest of his contact information as well. But feel free to contact Dimitar directly with questions that we're not answering in this video. We're trying to touch on a lot of different topics that has to deal with residency. And that being said, what have we not covered that you think viewers need to know today?
So what should I say? Probably it would be interesting part of this video that what is the option to get a Bulgarian property here in Bulgaria, how to buy it and how to do it, and how we mentioned a little bit before. So people need here to set up a company because Bulgarian law still still denies foreigners to buy personally property, but with a Bulgarian company they should buy a property and to establish their new home here in Bulgaria.
That's a nil corporation, so you don't need
Yes.
to make money on that. So
Yeah.
you
Absolutely.
Real estate seems to be relatively inexpensive compared
Yes.
to many European
Mhm.
countries.
Definitely, I can say that probably properties in Bulgaria are cheapest in the European Union.
we
You can find a very cheap property here, and to start some renovation properties, or to get a process, or to get a directly renovated property, and how we say in Bulgaria, just to redress your shoes and come in.
we were looking through some real estate windows the other day, and we were seeing some properties in the 40, 50, 60,000 euro range.
And I think they're
Even
lower
less.
than that.
Yeah.
Even
Yes.
less. So we can help even in the process of the purchase of the property, and I would say that we can help also in the process of purchase of some special properties what are not visible on the markets, and they are just sold for some loans or for some public debts, something like this. What is very interesting, these lowest price properties. So if you look for your new home here in Bulgaria, you can contact us also.
Great. And this is a beautiful city, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time we come, we find something new about
We do.
Veliko Trnovo. But even if you're looking for Sofia, if you're looking to go to the coast, or you're looking at Plovdiv, Dimitar's still going to be the guy you want to get everything squared away for you. I can't speak for any other legal representative elsewhere, and it seems to me that Dimitar's been able to solve problems and come up with solutions where other people have seemed to think there was a brick wall. So
I should say just sorry about this to stop you, but I should say also some very interesting experience that we got, and one of our last clients mentioned to us that somewhere in the Sofia or in the Plovdiv legal bar association, they said to him that foreigner cannot open a company in Bulgaria. I said to him, this is absolutely our job, and we can do it. And now he has his company in Bulgaria.
wow.
Yeah, because there is some difficult there even, but we are with experience almost 17 years and more, and we can resolve almost every kind of problem about this. So his company is already available, and he is happy with his work here, and with his life here, and to have a new property, a new car in his company, and to continue.
It is worth the drive to Velika Tornova.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful city, and yes, it's a little bit out of Sofia, but it's worth the drive to see the future.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, Dimitar, thank you for helping us. Thank you for helping our viewers as well over this past 12 months, and I guess we'll probably have some new people coming to you as well. As a reminder, Julie and I, we're traveling the world with our 2 dogs. We're trying to see what it's like to live in different places, different countries. We're sharing our experiences and our expenses with you, and we're hoping that you're going to give this video a like, that you're going to subscribe, and if you think somebody will find value in this video or in our videos, please share that and send this over to them so that we'll help them out as well. So until next time, have a great day, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.